Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I am going to be reviewing volume 19 in the series Komi Can't Communicate. I've been reading the series and really enjoying it, so let's talk about volume 19. Of course that's Komi right there on the cover, but the first thing I noticed is how pretty this cover is. I love in fall when all of the leaves turn that bright yellow and you're standing in a woods and everything is just so bright it almost hurts your eyes. I feel like everyone likes that. That's not necessarily a unique characteristic, so I really like the cover. Komi Can't Communicate, volume 19. Let's dive into my thoughts. So the series thus far is that Komi and Manbagi both kind of have a crush on Tadano, this boy. Komi is a shy and quiet girl who is attending high school, and she's not really outgoing. She has a communication disorder and can't really speak to other people or friends, but she wants to. So very early on in the series, she teams up with Tadano, and then by virtue of teaming up with Tadano, also teams up with one of my favorite characters, Najimi. Najimi is this purple-haired individual back here, and they are on a mission to make 100 friends for Komi. Komi wants to have friends, but she's never had friends before because of her communication disorder where she can't really talk to people, or it's difficult for her to talk to people. And now 19 volumes into the series, she's making friends, she has friends, she still struggles to speak with people, but she's putting herself out there and we're seeing a lot of character growth. Plus, we have the developing romance between her and Tadano and one of Komi's good friends, Manbagi, who also has a crush on Tadano. So we have a little love triangle going on, and I think your feelings on volume 19 are going to depend on whether or not you're reading this series for the romance plot or whether or not you're reading the series for the friendships or whether you are reading the series for both. So the love triangle, which was introduced, I believe, around volume 14, has grown a little bit. We've had a few moments here and a few moments there, but the last couple volumes, and particularly volume 19, the love triangle story is kind of sitting on the back burner. Of course, because we know that these two girls have feelings for Tadano and Komi and Manbagi all feature prominently in the volumes. There's obviously going to be interactions. You can tell the girls like him, and there's a little bit of like awkwardness, or there's a few fumbling moments that make you remember, oh yeah, when you have a crush on someone, then you get really awkward around them sometimes. So we do see that aspect of it. However, there's not a lot of forward movement, as in the plot towards the love triangle doesn't really progress. However, I really like the slowing down of the love triangle aspect, which I am really enjoying that aspect of the book. I'm really enjoying the romance, or what I think is going to be a romance that develops, and I enjoy just slowing down and following the friendship aspect of the manga too. And I think it's just really important in life to make sure you have a balance between your romantic pursuits but also maintaining friendships, because maintaining friendships is super important. And sometimes when people rush into maybe a relationship or they're chasing after a guy or a girl, it can happen both ways. They tend to neglect their friends, which is not something you should do at all, because friends are a very, very important part of life. So I like the fact that we're getting to know people. We're getting to know Komi in her friendships, and the friendships are deepening. The people aren't just numbers and ticks on a page, but they're people that she interacts with on a day-to-day basis. In this volume, some of the fun little episodes that happen, Komi goes to a study sleepover at Manbagi's, which I thought was super cute. It was fun, just some girls hanging out and studying. And I really like that we're showing that the girls are doing stuff. Obviously, maybe a little boy talk comes up, not even about Tadano, I don't think, about some other girl. And the guy that she likes, but they're just like hanging out and having a good time, which I really like to see. I like to see that the girls aren't just ditching all their interests and friends to follow whatever boy they're interested in. And I think the love triangle can simmer a little bit, because I want to see the tension build up a little bit more between them, but also I like seeing the friendship aspect of the book. So I think if you also like the friendship aspect, if you're okay with letting the love thing sit for a little bit, you're really going to enjoy this volume. Another thing that I find really, really funny is there's this group of boys in the class who like to get together, and at first they were just doing it informally at the desk, but now they have this whole secret ritual, this whole secret thing they're doing where they meet up and they talk fantasies about girls, but it's not like explicit fantasies. This book is only rated teen, so it's not anything too graphic. It's just like what it would be like to date different people. And Tadano has now been dragged into this group, and they're all sitting there with their, like, they have their heads covered so no one can see who they are, but I mean everyone knows who they are, and they talk fantasies about these girls that they want to date, but they never actually really are talking to these girls. They're just talking fantasies about the girls. Tadano winds up dressing as a girl again in this book, again. Najimi seems to get him in these binds, in these situations, and this happens again and again. I think probably because the fans like it, so the author is kind of playing to what the fans like. But if you thought those previous scenes were funny, then I think you'll like it. But if you didn't like those previous scenes, then you probably won't like that, just because it happens again in this book. I kind of find them, well, it depends. Sometimes I'm like, this is just a ridiculous situation. In this case, it was kind of a funny, weird situation. But yeah, it was just fun time with friends. Tadano is there, but the romance isn't building. It's more about the friends and the focus on the friends and the daily life and stuff like that. So if you like that aspect of this series, you're going to really like volume 19. I really enjoyed volume 19, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I do think the romance is going to pick up again in the future. I just think the author's taking some time to let the relationships with the people that we've built, because we have been introduced to a large number of characters, build, and as a result, I think the payoff for the romance and also the relationships that Komi's built with everyone else is going to be deeper. That's my review of volume 19. Please let me know if you had any thoughts on this book or this series thus far. I would love to hear it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.